Okay, students, now let's look at functions. 8.5G. Our objective here, students, you will know X values are input values and Y values are output values. Remember, X input values, Y output values. Students, you will also understand that in a function, X values cannot repeat. In a function, X values cannot repeat. I'm going to triple underline that, but the Y values can. By the end of this, students, you'll be able to identify functions in sets of ordered pairs, on a table, mapping, and on a graph. Let's get into it. Here are some examples, starting with sets of ordered pairs. The question says, does the set of ordered pairs represent a function? Explain. Let's look at our X values. 6, 7, 8, and 9. These are all of our X values. What do we notice? Anything different about them? They're all different, right? We don't see any of them repeating, correct? Very good. So what do we know when we don't have repeating X values? It is a function. That's right. So we say that this is a function. And why is it a function? X values do not repeat. The Y values, -6, -6, -6, they repeat, but that does not determine if it is a function or not. It is the X values that we look at. They are not repeating, so this is a function. Let's look at number 2. And I'm going to help you with this by circling all of my X values. So I have a -3, -2, 0, -3, and -2. I want you to tell me, is this a function? And why isn't it a function? Okay, you answer that one. Number 3, when we have a graph, we have to look at this using a straight line test. I can make a straight line here, but it doesn't go through my graphed line. So that's not helpful. I want to make a straight line right here. What do I notice after I make my straight line? I see that this graph line is crossing my straight line at 2 points. Right? So if my X value was here before at a point at 4 and 2, and another point at 4 and -2. Repeating X values here, right? So when that straight line test is done, if it crosses your graph line 2 times, we say this is not a function. Not a function because it does not pass the straight line test. It doesn't pass the straight line test. Okay, let's look at the graph on number 4. Does this graph represent a function? Again, I'm going to make my straight line. And I'm going to highlight where it crosses the graph line. And I want you to tell me, is this a function? Let's look at another one. Number 5. Does the mapping represent a function? Again, we need to explain. Remember, I do not want my X values, also known as input values, to repeat. My Y values are my output values, and it's okay for my Y values to repeat. Here in mapping, I like to make my set of order pairs. So let's look at the first arrow, from 7 to -7. So I'm going to make one order pair for that arrow. I have another arrow at 8 and -8. I also have an arrow going from 9 to -8. And I have another arrow, fourth arrow, going from 9 to -9. What do I notice about my X values here? 7, 8, 9, 9. Do I have any that are repeating? Yes, we see the 9 repeating. Anytime I have 2 arrows leaving from my input value, x, to my output values, y, we say that this is not a function. My x values are repeating here. So because of that 9 and those 2 arrows, we say this is not a function. It is not a function. And because I have 2 arrows leaving my input value of 9. All right, number 6 is just like number 1, so I want you to do that one on your own. Good luck, boys and girls.